be in the midst of a woman of God that's doing great things in our community for people that we know, people that we don't know, but we know that God is blessing and helping us to get resources, information about others and helping others. So I know everybody knows somebody that has had some criminal activity. So this young lady that's with me today is going to talk a little bit about things that can happen after the process and during the process. So how are you, Miss Walisha?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming. What's the name of your company?
NewLife-Second Outreach Incorporated.
Okay, now can you tell our viewers what sparked you to have this company?
Just out of personal experience and frustration. I used to run a major nonprofit organization. I also had my own restaurant. And getting in trouble with hiring somebody else, I ended up going to prison. And I was in prison for a year.
Wow.
And despite having a master's degree, I ended up getting a second master's degree, working on my doctorate degree. I thought it was going to be easy. And when I got out, the world showed me that it wasn't easy. They, regardless of all the experience that I had, they were not willing to be as forgiving as a lot of them said that they were. So I was either overqualified or because I had a felony, I couldn't get a job. So after 2 years, I finally did get a job cooking in a restaurant, which wasn't fine because I have a passion for cooking. So, but eventually was let go from that job after about 6 months because I lied on my application.
Oh.
And even though it's one of those issues where you want people to be honest, just tell us and be honest and we'll give you a second chance. When you are honest, the second chances aren't given.
Right.
And because I had children and I had bills I needed to pay, I did what I needed to do. So I lied by basically saying that I had not graduated high school. I had a GED. I hadn't even got a GED yet or something.
Oh, wow.
And I was hired on the spot. And it was kind of puzzling to me that had I told you I had master's degrees, I had management experience, I do not, and I know for a fact I wouldn't have been hired. But when I told you that I hadn't even graduated high school, you had no problem hiring me on the spot.
Wow.
And so eventually I was let go because of that. And out of the frustration of having to go back, when you get out of prison, you do that normal Department of Labor or Goodwill. And so when you go, they have this generic list of all the places that are high felony. There may be 200 people on that list. But by the time you put in the application and you call back checking on it, more than half will say, I don't even know why you put the application in. We don't hire felons.
Oh, my.
So it made me wonder, why are they even on the list?
Oh.
Are people not checking the list? So just imagine, even though I had some family support, and I had money in the bank, and my savings account, everybody's not as fortunate to do that when they get out. And a lot of people don't have transportation. So it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. It also, it tries to get you to build up confidence that only gets torn down when you're putting in applications at places that you have no chance of getting. And so while I was actually putting in some applications myself, I looked over and noticed that another young lady's resume was not up to par. And because I used to actually teach people, I used to hire people, fire people, train people, I actually walked her through and showed her how to do a better resume. And she said, well, you should be helping me. And so out of that came, I was having a lot of dreams and wondering what was going on in my dream while I was sitting behind a desk helping people. And I had the same dream for about 3 months. And I knew it couldn't have been anybody but God. This is what I want you to do. And at that time, I was homeless. And so I'm thinking, I know you don't want me to spend my money to help other people when I need help. But you can't question what's been given. And I know that when you give a vision, you're going to provide the provision. And so with that, I did my own 501c3. I found did all the steps, found the location, bought everything from every piece of paper to the equipment.
Wow.
And got business license and set up and just set up shop.
Okay.
And from that point, I worked off those very same lists that they would give you at these other places. I called the employers, I knocked on doors, I went in to visit them. And I want to know if you do hire people with felonies, misdemeanors. Will you hire somebody with this particular charge? Do you hire sex offenders? What are you willing to hire? Those that say they were willing to hire, we would put your name on a list and we would match our clients with you and send them to you. Those who are not willing to hire, we want to know why. We want to know what can we do to convince you. So a lot of time I'm actually advocating as to why you should. How are you benefit your community by doing it? And a lot of employers chose not to because they've been burned by people who have come in and they're not really ready to change their lives. And they've made it bad for others. But that's why I go in and try to correct it and say, you know what, if I can give you somebody who I know is deserving of this job, they've stayed out of trouble, but they just need a second chance, would you be willing to work with my clients? And they'll say yes. And so we'll send one person and they'll call. Now we've gotten it to the point where employers will actually call us. And say, you know, we've enjoyed who you put us here. We're the best worker I've got. Can you send me some more? And that's what I do.
Jesus.
For no cost. No cost to the clients, and I volunteer my time. I don't get paid, I don't get compensated.
Oh my God.
So I love what I do. I have a great board of directors who are very supportive of what we're doing at New Life. And it's a very rewarding experience to go places and see people who actually haven't worked in years to know that they have a job. You know, and to hear them say, "This is the lady that helped me get a job." You know, and it's just a very rewarding experience.
Oh my goodness, girl, I tell you, very few you left. It's very few you left. We're gonna go to a station break and we're gonna come back, and I just want to talk to you a little bit more about this. It's just so much information and so much that the viewers can gain. Like I said, all of us know someone that needs your services. All of us do. So we'll be right back in a minute. Same place, same time. Don't do too much because we'll be back in a minute. After age groups and our different religions and different walks of life. So it's always somebody a brush past me that needs something from someone else. So I just love the networking experience. I love how it's put together to network, to build, and to bless, and to motivate. And that's what you do. You're just building stuff for other people. And at the same time, God is always preparing and giving you your needs.
Yes.
Because I know your needs are met. You look awesome.
Yes, thank you. I haven't gone without. I haven't lacked.
Yes.
So he's provided.
Ain't that beautiful?
Yes. You're an awesome God.
But God.
Yes, nobody but him.
Yeah. But you know, you went to prison and you stated that you were there a year.
Yes.
Okay. That 1 year, probably, to me, listening at you, that's what really set you where you are at right now. Had you not went,
had I not gone,
you wouldn't be probably doing this.
No. As a matter of fact, before I was even gotten into any trouble, I had already, 2009, I was starting to work on this organization.
Really?
But it was from a complete different perspective. It was from the perspective of, you got in trouble, you can't get a job, it's your fault. That's it was lack of empathy. It was, if you do this, you could do better. If you could get an education, you could do better. It can't possibly be that hard to not get a job when you have a felony. I was looking at it from a completely different perspective.
Oh my.
And even though nobody wants to go to prison, that was the place I needed to be at. Because I was in an abusive relationship. I had been threatened several times with a gun in my face that he was going to leave me stinking somewhere. So had it not been for me being incarcerated, I truly believe I would have been dead.
My God.
And through the incarceration, the same people that I was putting down, I came to love.
Okay.
I came to understand a lot of the dynamics. It's not a lot of the dynamics weren't because people just don't want to do right. There were a lot of issues going on, whether it's domestic violence abuse, whether it was mental illness, whether it was substance abuse. So it came to ponder as a lot of people, when you're in active addiction, for one, and you go out and you see a person with their record saying theft, 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 it's not that they're a thief. I mean, in essence, they're a thief, but it's not because they want to do it. It's because they're feeding something else. So why incarcerate when you can be treated? Because once they get out, and it's actually happened. I was there a year, but some people would get out, and before I left, they were coming back.
Oh my God.
It's the same thing. You haven't treated the major issues. And I do believe that one of the biggest issues was not just that treatment, but a job. And I would hear so many people say, but if I have a job, I probably would stay out of trouble. But nobody will give me a job.
Wow.
Nobody will give me a job. So that's why I went back to selling drugs. Nobody will give me a job, and my kids need to be fed. So that's why I prostituted. So when it came down to it, so basically, the job is key, and it really is key. You have education, you have all these different barriers to a person going back to prison, but employment is key because you have to have a way to sustain yourself. And if a lot of people, when you have felonies, just recently you were able to actually get food stamps. But just imagine prior to July 1st, you had a felony, especially if it was a drug-related felony. You can't get a job, you can't get housing, you can't get food stamps. So therefore, if you can't get money, you can't have shelter over your head, and you can't eat. How else do you expect a person to feed themselves and their children without committing crime? And so a lot of people say it sounds like you're making excuses for it, but I'm not. Everybody is not made to say, I'm going to cut your grass, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So I feel like the common solution is to provide people, give people chances, give them opportunities to tell you why they were stealing. And that's why I really love the whole ban the box purpose, because it takes that box away from the application. It allows you to be able to get to the doors to tell a person that, yes, I have charges of armed robbery. I have charges for burglary and theft, but I was addicted to crack for 7 years. But if you'll notice and you'll see that in the past 8 years, I've never been arrested again. Why? Because I'm now clean and sober. And, you know, if there's a pattern of why a lot of people do things, and you're able to open up. You never know if the employer you've been dealing with may have had some issues or has a child with it. So that is what I do, where I come in. And a lot of times when I'm talking to employers, I do bring God up into the situation, especially if I know that there are employers who are faith-based people. Because Jesus forgave us so many times over.
Oh my God.
And we proclaim to be a Christian nation, a nation of forgiveness. So how is that when you're not willing to forgive what this person done? And so that is why you can take it to a lot of people. So I want to tug at your heart. I want you to know that if you're saying that you genuinely are for forgiveness, why can't you forgive? The clients that we work with. And so that is what I want. I want to tug at the hearts. I want to tug at, at your mind and your thought process. To imagine, what if this was your child? What if this was your son? What if this is you? Because sometimes, look what way things going now, anybody can get a record. So you never know when you're put in a situation. Why should a person with a criminal record constantly be held down for something that they've done? We've had a lot of people who've had children out of wedlock. How would you like if your whole life somebody talked about you when you had a baby when you were 13? Yeah. How would you like if someone constantly threw it in your face that you've been married 5 times? How would you constantly like that? And that's how it feels. That despite me going back to college, despite me being clean, despite me going to church, being active in my children's school, I'm trying to do good in my community, I'm still not worthy enough for a job. Is God pleased with that? And I don't believe He is.
Oh my God. Hold that for another minute. We're going to go to another commercial break. Oh my God. You are really, really talking here. I'm just all into absorbing this. You are really talking things I haven't thought about. Yeah. My God. But just come back. We'll be right back on a commercial break. Keep it locked with the Joneses. Show, just talking with Miss Walisha about things that I really hadn't thought a lot about, but now that she's talking, my mind is running and I'm thinking, wow, really, wow. So, Miss Walisha, tell me, do you get much support from the Christian community, the church?
Surprisingly, no. You would think that the churches would be the first person to want to support, but I've noticed that here in this area, a lot of people have their own agendas. And a lot of those agendas are actually politically rooted. And so one of the very first churches that did support us was True Believers in Phoenix City with Pastor Alice Hubbard.
Pastor Alice Hubbard. Fine young lady.
Yes, very generous, very understanding.
Yes.
And she supported us from day one.
Amen.
And it was never an issue of what can you do for me. Right. It was, I see that you're doing something, there's a need for the community. Yes. And this is what we have done now. I'm now a member at Phillips Temple CME in Phoenix City. Okay. And very loving church, very warming church, very open about receiving people who've gone to prison.
Good.
And very community-based, missionary-based.
Uh-huh.
And so we've reached out to a lot of churches, and we haven't gotten one donation in the past 3 years from churches besides believers, Pastor Hubbard's church.
Yeah.
So we've asked. Right now we're in the process of the building that we're in is being renovated. Mm-hmm. We're in need of office space because we can't afford a lot of office space.
Right.
We depend 100% on community support.
Yes.
We do have volunteers that come in. The board of directors will help out with some of the daily operations. Nobody receives compensation. So paper needs to be bought, to secure people to come in and teach some classes. Those kind of things that needs to be done. And to just be able to give freely and say, you know what, we're able to help, we haven't really received it.
Wow.
And it's really shocking considering the community that we serve.
Right.
You would think that it's been very surprising. And so we've had a few people to reach out and help out, and our donors, our board directors have been very generous with helping us sustain personal financial contributions from myself to make sure that we're holding on.
Yeah.
And it really does get hard. And so those are some of the things that we need from the community because we can only provide our services if we have the ability to do so.
Amen.
So right now that is what what we're needing. We need financial contributions and we need office space.
Okay.
That we're able to get out and still continue to do our services. And I'm willing to do it for free as long as God allows me to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that I want to be able to do and provide the service. And I believe the service is needed.
Yes, it's definitely
It's been almost 3 years and we've gotten over almost 100 people hired.
That's great.
So
great.
The service is definitely needed.
Amen.
So.
Amen. Like I said, everybody knows somebody that needs your service.
Yes.
I truly believe that the viewers today will adhere to what you're saying and the needs of your business from the mission that God has given you to be overseer of.
Yes.
And I truly believe that He's going to continuously to make a way for you. Because the way's been made, but just continue to make the way so that you can do what you need to do, you and your organization. Yes, because I had very little knowledge of your organization. And luckily I seen something on social media that kind of told me what you were dealing with. And I applaud you. Because someone needs to do it.
Yes.
And it needs to get done. It needs to get bigger. It needs to get better.
Yes.
You need an office space. You got to have it.
Yeah.
We decree it and declare it right now.
Thank you.
In the name of Jesus.
Yes, thank you.
That it is so that you will have the office space that you need.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Thank
and
you
that
so
the financial blessings will come.
Yes.
That you need to keep what you got going.
Yes.
There's so many people coming out of jail depending on you.
Yes.
God chose you for this mission. You didn't understand it, but it's here.
Yes.
I understand it clearly. Sitting here talking to you right now, I know that you're on the right road.
Yes. Thank you.
And I know that greater is coming for you and your company. And I'm not afraid to tell it on the air what I can see and what I feel for you and your company. You suffered much.
Yes, I have.
And you've had a lot of doors closed in your face. Understood. But all that is for a time like this.
Yes, I do believe it.
Everything that's been rough is to mold you and shape you to be the woman that you are for this mission that God has birthed you to carry. And I only speak blessings.
Thank you so much.
To you in your life, your business, everything may that you touch, that God continue to just overflow it.
Yes.
I don't feel like you're going to be needed. Because you're going to have everything you need.
Oh, thank you.
I believe that.
Thank you.
Amen. And I'll be putting the word out. The viewers put the word out that you need help. How can they help you?
We can be contacted. Right now, we have, because of me running myself ragged, I've been having a lot of health issues, and because of the possible renovation of the office space. So we have kind of sloped our website, which is www.nlscoinc.org. We are a 501c3. We are registered with the state of Georgia and with the Charities Division. Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I can say right now, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I know a lot of our viewers are too. Now they can see the woman behind the work and to hear the work that you're doing.
Yes.
It needs to be displayed. Because a lot of people don't do things because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So now they know.
Yes.
Now we're going to see what they're going to do.
That's right.
But I believe they're going to do something.
I hope that say you put the word out and you call, the doors shall be open.
Sure.
So that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting the call out because there is a need. And at some point we want to get into residential. We have a lot of people coming home or can't come home because they're being released into homelessness. And so we want these people, they need help. These are sons and daughters and grandchildren.
Yeah.
These are mamas and daddies.
Yeah.
That families need to be repaired.
Amen.
Repaired. So.
Amen. You said a lot. You said a lot. You guys keep it locked with the Joneses. Same place, same time next week. Y'all know what to do. Let me hear it. Yes.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you would like additional information about today's show, call or email us